But also he has his calm moments, such as right now. What kind of family would or person would he be best with, you think?
There's not really, much that that he wouldn't be perfect for, honestly. He does have lots of energy, which is perfect for a family or somebody who just wants to cuddle or relax with a single person home. Also, he is kind of dog selective. Doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't like other dogs. There are just some that he prefers and some that he doesn't. And so, really anyone, hopefully somebody with somebody who doesn't have dogs yet so that he can, be the center of attention. However, anybody really would be perfect for him.
What's so great about Corpus Christi Animal Care Services is if somebody sees a pet that y'all have, they can bring their own pets that they might have at home to the shelter and actually get them acclimated to the pets that y'all have.
Yes, we definitely recommend that, first of all, just because you don't know what's going to happen when you bring one of our shelter pets into your home, into your environment, especially with one of your own pets. So we always want to make sure that you are comfortable bringing a new pet into your home with your pet. So we definitely recommend bringing your pets in to meet with ours.
Tell me a little bit about what you'll have maybe going on there at Animal Care Services. Anything new? Or I know you guys always have pets that need to be adopted.
Yes. We're always, trying to do more events in-house. Sometimes we will go out every weekend or so to different places. But you can always check in our Facebook group, our Facebook page. We always have events popping up on there as to what's going on, or events that are going on within the shelter as well.
And you did say that Handsome is ready to go today. Is that right?
He is. He's fixed. He's microchipped. He's going to get his rabies, and he's all set.
Oh, guys, that's the time for you guys to come out and get Handsome at your home. Now, if you're looking to add a pet to your family, think adoption first. That's the key word at Corpus Christi Animal Care Services. You can head on over to 2626 Holly Road any afternoon of the week, 1 to 5:30 p.m. Call them at 826-4630 or check them out on the website, www.petharbor.com. Make sure you stay with us. We have more news and weather coming up after the break.
Chris 6 News at noon continues.
So now that Christmas is come and gone, it's time to get rid of the holiday tree. And as Brooke Rogers discovered, one Dallas area business is offering a different sort of recycling: goats.
They are the trees of Christmas in the not-so-distant past, and their work in that capacity is done. But those that find their way to Bonton Farms...
We've had mom and dads come bring down their Christmas tree one at a time. We've had truckloads. I think we had 10 pallets of Christmas trees just show up.
...will be treated to an unexpected future. When you looked at your Christmas tree, did you ever think it was going to be goat food?
No. No, I didn't think so.
The trees are stripped of their limbs, which are devoured by Bonton's resident goats.
You would think it was ice cream.
Neat and weird, because I've never seen that before.
The extra wood will be used for wood chips or kindling, and the rest?
The trunk of the tree we're going to send to a friend who's going to make canes for veterans. And so everything is recycled in this whole project.
Because the mission at Bonton Farms is second chances for everything and everyone.
What people think is trash, or they think is throwaway, or they think, can't be used again, we repurpose. This is just another story of restoration.
It saves money on feed for the goats.
They think it's a buffet, so I have to kind of manage it a little bit.
And gives those who donate a lesson in both the land and life.
It's really neat to show them that something can live on, and that it doesn't have to just be thrown away. And the spirit of Christmas gets to live on a lot longer.
All right, we'll be back with another look at the forecast.
Chris 6 News. Chris 6 News at noon continues.
Well, we have another spectacular afternoon, as you can see out there on our live camera. Of course, the harbor, the Lexington, all looks beautiful. Of course, today, the south wind rolls back in, and as a result, by tomorrow, maybe even tomorrow morning, you're going to start feeling all that Gulf moisture roll back in. In fact, it's going to be much warmer tomorrow, up to about 78 and almost 80 degrees on Friday. Now, the Friday night thing, we may have a stronger line of storms on Friday night than I originally thought. The computers are getting a little bit more serious with this, but we'll certainly be getting a closer update for you. But Friday night, it looks like there will be a line of storms coming in. However, the weekend is going to work out all right. That's your 7-day forecast. Mike, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mac. We're going to take a quick look now at some of the top stories from our first half hour. President Trump says it appears Iran is standing down after yesterday's missile attack against 2 U.S. military bases in Iraq. There have been no reports of casualties. In San Patricio County, a suspect is facing charges in the theft of $93,000 worth of copper, and the city is cracking down on people who are parking at Cole Park past the 10 p.m. curfew. Residents from a nearby condo have been using those spots because their garage is being torn down. Well, for our KZTV viewers, thanks so much for being with us today. If you're watching on KRIS, stay tuned. There's more news and weather right after this.
From Chris TV, this is Chris 6 News at noon.
Welcome back. President Trump says Iran appears to be standing down after yesterday's missile attack that targeted 2 military bases in Iraq that house American troops. Speaking from the White House, the president said it appears no American troops were hurt in that attack. He also announced new sanctions against Iran. Here's Richard Engel.
This, Iran said, was its vengeance for the U.S.'s killing of its top general. Iranian state TV posting video of ground-to-ground ballistic missiles roaring toward Iraqi bases housing U.S. troops, and claimed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, had personally overseen the launch in the control room. The impact, around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. There were at least 2 waves of attacks, according to the U.S. military, and that Iran fired at least a dozen ballistic missiles from inside Iranian territory at U.S. facilities based in Erbil, a hub for American special forces, intelligence, and logistics, and a bigger attack on the Al-Assad airbase deep in western Iraq. Then Iran's foreign minister tweeted his country was ready to step back if there was no American counterattack. Through it all, the U.S. was silent until President Trump tweeted the first reply. All is well, missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases in Iraq. Assessment of casualties and damages taking place now. So far, so good. Symbolically, with vengeance served, Iran resumed the burial of its slain general Qasem Soleimani, considered a terrorist by the U.S. This morning, the Ayatollah saying the attack was a slap in America's face. But U.S. officials tell NBC News Iran may have actually tried to deliberately miss American troops, that the attack was more about restoring Iran's honor.
The Iraqi government says it received prior notification from Iran about the attack and that so far there is no word of any Iraqi or American casualties. Richard Engel, NBC News, Erbil, Iraq.
Iran's supreme leader warned that the missile strike may not necessarily be Iran's only response to the death of their top general. The Ayatollah added that yesterday's missile attacks were not sufficient for revenge. Well, the fear of war between the U.S. and Iran is behind today's fact check. Earlier, the U.S. Army Recruiting Command issued an alert about text messages telling people across the country that they have been selected for a military draft. So our fact check today asks, fact or fiction, is the U.S. military enacting a draft? Now that is fiction. There has been no draft since 1973, and the U.S. military remains an all-volunteer force. In order for a draft to resume, it would have to be authorized by Congress and the president. An island resident is hoping to draft some volunteers to help him start a neighborhood watch program. Chul Kim McGuire says recent crimes and the lack of a police substation on the island are two main reasons why he thinks a watch program is needed. McGuire says he'll push for an island police substation during the public comment segment of Tuesday's City Council meeting.
We are starting a neighborhood crime patrol watch program. We've attempted that before, but I think we're at a tipping point where we need to get more serious about it. We got a lot of concerned people. We got a lot of visitors.
Now, for those interested in the neighborhood watch, a meeting will be held this Saturday at Island Joe's Coffee. That meeting begins at 4 p.m. The San Patricio County Sheriff's Office expects to file charges today against a suspected copper thief. The Sheriff's Office says they got a tip about someone selling thousands of pounds of copper wire at Corpus Christi salvage yards. When they looked into it, they caught someone trying to sell about 6,000 pounds of copper. Investigators believe it was stolen from the Tipco America company outside of Gregory. The copper is worth about $93,000.
Right now we're looking at a suspect. We've already interviewed him. He's going to be facing 3 felony criminal charges that could end up as much as 28 years in prison over this offense.
The suspect is a 42-year-old man who worked for the company the copper was stolen from. Well, after a decade of talk, we may finally see some action when it comes to the proposed Park Road 22 bridge. Next Tuesday, the City Council considers a nearly $14 million bid to build the bridge, which will connect Lake Padre with canals on the other side of the road. If approved, construction on the bridge would start in February and should wrap up next January. We'll, of course, have more coming up this evening on Chris 6 News at 5 and 6. In other news this afternoon, the city is cracking down on overnight parking at Cole Park. Parking spots are being taken by residents from the Marina del Sol condominiums. The parking garage there is being demolished, leaving condo residents with no place to park. Now, there is a 10 p.m. curfew at the park, which means no parking is allowed late at night. Park visitors also complain that it is hard for them to find parking.
Frustrating because I got to go somewhere else just to park. It's the city's parking lot. It's not the residents' parking lot.
Marina del Sol residents who've been leaving their vehicles at Cole Park will be given a few days to stop parking there after 10 p.m. Once the grace period is over, vehicles that violate that rule could be ticketed or even towed. So if you're looking for a job, area Lowe's hardware stores apparently are the place to be. Locations in Corpus Christi, Kingsville, and Aransas Pass are taking part in a nationwide hiring event today. This morning, hundreds of people were lined up outside the airline location hoping to land one of those jobs. That line stretched outside of the store.
I'm very surprised. A lot of people here today applying for work, such as myself also. Really needing the job, and it's really good, hiring 100 people.
Now, the hardware chain is offering on-site interviews and on-site drug screening. If you do plan to apply, go ahead and bring an ID and your Social Security card. The store will be interviewing applicants until 7 this evening.